Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, as we are really in the thick of things now for bracket number 3. On the desk with me, we have Tasteless, we have Artosis, we have Pig in the middle, Pig in blankets, I like it. We're all wrapped up nicely here.
Wow.
Yeah, there you
I got these guys on either side of me, you know, it's good.
You got Tasteless sandwich over here.
This went weird. Okay, so there's actually a lot of great games going on right now. The round of 8 shaped up beautifully. Let's take a look at the bracket to get you up to date, as we do have some great TVZs to come. But on the mainstream, we're going to have Zest going up against Bunny. Artosis, a clash of Koreans already this early in the bracket, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, these two actually have really good games every time they hit each other. You know, Zest, just such a strong Protoss, one of the best we've ever had. And Bunny is like the 6th best Terran in Korea or something like that, right? Like, he's always right there. He has good games. It's nice.
And of course, down in the lower bracket here, we do have those results that will be eventually feeding on in all of our players here, looking to try and stave off the idea of elimination down in the lower bracket. But let's talk about, you know, Zest versus Bunny, as well as some of the great games that we have going on up here. Pig, so many great TVZs that we're going to have the opportunity to kind of glimpse into here on the desk.
Yeah, soon enough, we'll be able to jump in between the matches. I'll be following the Hero Marine Snoot match, which of course is going to be exciting. Snoot, unfortunately, taking out Ziggy, so I know Dan's a little bit sad about that one.
That's right, he's going to make that crazy run through the bottom bracket.
Possible season 2 of the Ziggy Artosis show has been canceled here, so.
It's really sad, actually.
Hey man, there's still the lower bracket.
Look,
guys.
Family Guy got canceled, okay? People don't know what they're doing.
No,
well, it came back. It came back.
Yeah, just as next year's Ziggy Artosis.
Okay, sorry, I got it. Got it.
Let's just say it's on hiatus for now. On
Sure.
hiatus, all right? And Tasteless, I think we're hopefully trying to get you Kaelaris going up against Namstra. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'm still waiting for the invite, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there.
So what do you think about our Zest versus Bunny game coming up?
You know, as Artosis was saying earlier, Bunny's kind of like the 6th or 7th best Terran out there.
Hovers there, yeah.
I feel like, as a caster who covers a lot of his games, I a lot of times underestimate him. He has a very specific style. He likes to push a lot in the mid game. But Zest is just... It's hard to not assume that Zest is going to win this.
I kind of feel like that's the story with Bunny we see a bit, is he's the guy who's looking very good and he just can't quite seal the deal a lot of the time at these live tournaments. Right. He's got these good online results. He's started to show promise, but he's had a bit of trouble closing it out. Last year, I remember he was looking fantastic and he had a few surprise upsets where he got kind of cheesed out of a few matches and was eliminated. So, I mean, here against Zest, he's got another chance on the world stage to prove himself.
All right, well, let's head over to the commentary team. Thanks very much, guys. Check in with you in a moment, as we do have our first game here. Zest going up against Bunny.
G'day guys, how you doing? It is Maynarde and Todd here for a TVP. We're going to have Zest and Bunny. They're talking about Bunny being the 6th or maybe 7th best Terran in the world right now. You know what? I think he's starting to move up the ranks a little bit, slowly but surely. He's been looking really good online. Yeah. But we were talking about it a bit backstage, and it is very, very true in that online does not matter when it comes down to this. This is a different environment. It's even a different country. He's not playing from his bedroom in Korea. This is an incredible studio, a very, very professional tournament. A very, very handsome fellow there being watched on a Twitch VOD. What are your thoughts on this series, Todd?
Honestly, Zest, it's a bit weird. Like, he's very good against Terran, but at the same time, it seems to have a little bit more trouble as of late. Although, like, I think Bunny's very good against Protoss, but historically, he hasn't done very well against Zest. So there's this weird dynamic going into the matchup. I feel like Zest should be the favorite, but I wouldn't say he's a heavy favorite over a Bunny who's very good himself.
Yeah, I'd feel like maybe if he wanted to be a 2-1 or something like that. But of course, magic can happen in the bottom left here. The blue Terran from Korea. This is Bunny. And looking so strong online. He's up against this guy, a previous Intel Extreme Masters World Champion, the Red Protoss. This is Zest. Oh God, I wasn't ready for that.
Nobody was.
That is too handsome right there.
What a legend.
Let's see if his play is as chiseled as his jawline.
Usually is, yeah.
Usually. Yeah, he had a bit of a shaky GSL group though. Like he even said in his interview he wasn't very happy with his performance, and he was going to work very hard on sort of straightening things out a bit.
The expectations are always so high out of Zest. That's the thing, right? Because he's been at the highest of heights once upon a time, considered the best Protoss out there. He's had these up and downs, but it feels like he always comes back stronger eventually. He's a previous champion here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Now, this is the time. You know, this is where it's important for him to deliver, for him to play very well. He got a good warm-up against Terran. He played against Daishi. He was pretty flawless there, I would say. I didn't see, you know, too many mistakes. It was a clean 2-0 victory. But now he goes up against another level of Terran in body.
Yeah, we might even see that Void Ray proxy again. It's such a popular build in PvT at the moment, especially in Korea. Such a strong thing as well with the shield batteries to micro back to. Zest going for the full wall off here, so there is a small little gap there where the Reaper can actually grenade himself up into the, up into the main through that gap there. But there's not even a Reaper expand here by the looks of things from Bunny. It's actually just Marine first with a fast expansion.
Yeah, Zest is very good at taking a quick third, which is like very strongly the meta of PvT, where the Terran, they know about this even without scouting it, and a lot of the time they're going to try to hit some timings to try and be aggressive onto that third base and break it. The problem with that is that a lot of the time, it's an all-in. Even though you've got an economy behind it, either you do enough damage and then you're ahead and you can do well, or you don't and then you're in big trouble. But in this case, he's almost going like fully old school.
Yeah.
Like we saw this build so many years ago all the time. That was the staple of TVP, where you open gasless, you go for command center with just 1 barracks, and then you add 2 more barracks.
Yeah, so what the power of this is that you obviously end up with a ton of Marines. So things like Oracles and small gateway pressure is going to be pretty tough for the Protoss because the Marines will generally mince through all that in the early stages. And of course, the gases kick in, you get double tech lab on those barracks eventually, you get stim and combat shield at the same time and then transition.
And that could actually be pretty good against if Zest had gone for something like Stargate into a quick third, which he does a lot of the time. But in this game, he actually went for a robotics facility.
Interesting. So a lot of Protosses these days tend to favor Twilight Council openings and getting the Robo a little bit later. And Zest, this is old school from him as well, I'd say.
Yeah, this is old school versus old school.
Old school versus old school, yeah.
When both races were kind of worried about the standard build of the other, and they kind of had to do that. Fast Observer, like, when was the last time we saw that? It was like back when Rain was playing that super defensive PvT, and playing really safe. 2 more gates as well. Like, this is... Are we playing on the newer expansion of StarCraft?
I think it might be, but we'll have to check up on that. The add-ons are starting to come out here for Bunny. He's actually opting to just go for single tech lab here, so we're going to have way more Marines. But, combat shield's going to be a little bit later here. Stim, of course, is, the most important bio upgrade. 10 more extra hit points on those Marines is nice, but Stim just really makes them very, very effective. And he's getting a nice quick +1 as well. But what's Zest doing up here?
He's getting a Robo base, so I think he's going to want to go Colossus almost as if he knew the whole time that Bunny was going to do something like this. Damn. Here's the thing about these guys. They've met so many times in tournament. They have an extensive record against one another. There is also so much content from one another out there to study from. And it feels like this is a very meta-game heavy series here that we're seeing where both players, they have so much information on one another that they are playing this unconventional style in trying to counter one another. And so far, looking at the build orders, I favor Zest very heavily. Like, if you can open the Colossus against somebody that opens 3 barracks and has a lot of Marines on the ground, you're doing something right.
Well, one of the reasons I love StarCraft is, yes, the tech here for Zest does counter what Bunny's going for. He's going to have a lot of Marines and Colossi, have that bonus versus light, and they will crush Marines. But the wonderful thing about StarCraft is that even if the tech is countered, you can still win depending on where you pick the fight and what you do with what you have. So it's not always cut and dry in that regard. So we're not going to count Bunny out just yet. Obviously, there's not been any engagement in this game. He's getting starport up. Everything looks pretty regular. He's not going to have any factory units for a bit. It's all priority on that medevac drop play. But we got the War Prism for Zest heading across the map, and let's see what he can get done with it.
Yeah, for Bunny to make something happen, it's especially going to go through the mobility of his medevacs. Oh, barely going to miss this. Both players don't quite spot one another there. But yeah, like medevacs offer so much mobility. Sometimes you can go to base trades if you can take on your opponent's army. Zest with the first adept warp in here. But he should have enough back at home, but he needs to react very quickly. If he starts on losing some SCVs here, it would be very bad against the Zest, who's taking the 3rd base right now.
Luckily, Bunny does have +1 on his Marines, and he does have Stim, so winning an engagement against these Adepts isn't too hard. You don't need too many Marines to do that, but they do need to be at home and in position, that's for sure. See some Sentinel mode activated observers here for Zest, keeping an eye on those popular drop locations for Bunny.
And Zest is so wary of a potential big push on his 3rd base that he gets more gateways. Even he skips entirely on Twilight Council or Double Forge, which usually you will see from this eventually later on. So Zest build otherwise again, like I feel like he's doing everything right. Like if you look at his army,
I definitely
and
agree.
Now Bunny's out on the map and Adepts are going to be dropped into his middle line.
Yeah, that's why I said uh-oh when I saw that army moving across the map, because they are not here dealing with these Adepts, and even if he only kills a handful of SCVs, that is denied mining time as well.
He gets
these
4
SCVs
of them,
the
Maynarde.
He does. That's not nothing. 4 is better than 0.
It's
He's going to delay the CC as well, which is also a nice little move there for Zest. Oh, Bunny sees these Colossi. He's going to try and stim in with a couple Marines here. Zest's army is all here at the 3rd base.
Yeah, who would ever expect this? Apparently not Zest either. And that shield battery. He's working overtime, but not doing quite enough shield regeneration here for these probes to stay alive.
Wow.
What a move by Bunny to go for this.
Yeah, that's a sick move. These +1 upgraded units doing tons of damage. Zest, though, back in the main base, doing some counter damage to Bunny. It's worker harassment city here. Bunny does have some units in position to be able to deal with it, but look at this army from Zest, and he's already marching in towards the natural.
And Zest has thermal lance here. He could just move in there, try to take on this army. As long as he lands some good force fields and uses Guardian Shield properly, he's going to be able to deal really well with this Bioforce.
Play.
Might force an SCV pull. He's going to bring back the Warp Prism to try and reinforce with his army, but Bunny catches it.
That's a nice catch there for Bunny. If that Warp Prism engaged, it'd be very, very hard for him, but now he has a fighting chance. These Colossi are tough to deal with, but you saw earlier, he has a couple Vikings. The 3rd finishes, so he can actually lift up and try and put it somewhere safe. And this is also delaying time for Bunny to get the Viking count up, and more Marauders and Marines. I cannot believe he's dropping right now. I feel like these units need to be at home to deal with this.
Yeah, I think he realizes that Zest, because he lost the Prism, he's not going to attack. So what's next? If Bunny can go across the map, ignite a big counter-attack, he forces a recall, which Zest anticipates again. Without even seeing this thing, Zest knows.
Wow.
Zest has played so smart. He's been one step ahead of Bunny this entire game on everything. Except the Marines that sneaked into his natural.
Except that one time.
Put him really far behind.
So these Marines and Marauders left to pick up and get out of there. That 3rd CC for Bunny did live. Took a ton of damage, but did live, so he can drop that back on location.
Where's the double forge?
Yeah, where is the forges at all here for Zest? Getting Twilight Council now. He's got no forges.
I guess losing the probes really kind of sent him back on the economy,
that is true.
On what he wanted to get, but Twilight is finally starting. I mean, by now you know that Terran is already on 1-1 and could be starting, you know, that at least +2 attack
Put it back.
sometime soon. So usually you go for double forge at this stage and get some upgrades going, unless you want to go for a big attack. You could stay on 0-0 technically, and with enough units, attack into 1-1 units before 2-2 completes.
Well,
and then just try to kill off your opponent.
See, the thing is that Terran can get a lot of army supply pretty quickly here. Yes, the Protoss has the ability to warp in, but Bunny's been doing nothing but producing units with these SCVs here.
Ooh, Zest goes charge.
He is going charge.
I think a lot of the time here you will go blink because you have enough Stalkers to deal with the Vikings, like, you know, that old school style with Colossus, but I think he realizes that Bunny will have enough Vikings to really deal with the Colossi even if there is blink Stalkers, so he goes for charge, and the goal here is going to be to go into Storm as soon as possible because he's mining so much gas from 6 gases as well. If he can get a lot of High Templars out and Bunny doesn't have Ghosts, he's going to be in trouble.
Well, we saw that Observer there did get vision of this Medivacs, and he's going to try and blink and catch him, or even just stand there.
Oh, he gets one.
Yeah, it's a nice pick off. And of course, Bunny has to deflect and pull back after taking a big loss to his army. But he does have a bit of an opening here for the 3rd base. Lots of Vikings to deal with the Colossi, but lots of gateway units as well for Zest.
It's almost like a bluff, like the Stalkers were at the front, almost as if they had Blink, but they don't. And Bunny's going to try to drop all over the place. Natural base, main base is being boosted into. Still threatening towards the 3rd base with a huge chunk of army as well, which he actually pulled back now because he got a little worried he was going to get engaged into.
The Observers for Zest nicely positioned though. He sees the drops before they happen. He sees this one as well. Zest usually pretty good with his map vision, so we see that Charge and Storm are on the way here, so he's going to have a very nice army against that heavy bio composition of Bunny. Bunny is still producing Vikings, so he's still very, very afraid of these Colossi, but of course, if you overmake Vikings, that actually helps the Protoss quite a bit because they don't really have a lot of fighting power. Like, yes, you can land them, and yes, they can do damage, but they're not as good as having, maybe Liberators at this point of the game.
Yeah, the armory finally starts, but it's so late. But, I mean, Zest still doesn't have any upgrades going. I'm surprised.
It still has no Forge.
It's so inexpensive to go double Forge and at least start 1-1. You know, like 2-2 you can kind of delay, but I don't know if Zest is that worried about the army size of Bunny that he needs to go for this at any cost, but he has 4 gateways here, even before taking any kind of 4th base. And he's... I mean, Storm's about to finish, and he has a bunch of High Templars. He might just go for an attack here.
Yeah.
Just make as much army as he can, try to land the Storm. Just have too much AoE for Terran to deal with the Colossi and the High Templars. Bunny, he's got some Medivacs at the top.
Neither player is seeing each other here, so Zest's going to have a big attack here in his 3rd, and I think Zest might recall because there's a drop happening in the main as well.
Where does he go?
Oh, there's actually some feedbacks on the Medivacs at the top. No, he doesn't have enough energy. There we go.
Actually, I guess I could defend there with just re-warp in units. Zest is not recalling. He's just going to go for the full-on base trade.
All right. Well, I mean, what he could do here is kill a base of Bunny and then recall and try and deal with it.
He's going to expand on the left-hand side. He's sending all of the probes on the left-hand side here that he can to try and re-expand there. He's fully accepted that this is going to be a base trade.
Yep.
He's going to stand on top of this production here.
And big storms going down there. He does have all of his High Templar here. A few of them were at home. They got picked off by that drop there. And he just continues to rain Protoss laser beams and spells down here on the SCVs. Oh, still killing absolutely everything. But Zest is losing everything back at home as well. And if Bunny kills all the next side, there's no more recalls.
Yeah, and Zest, he's already reduced the army count a little bit here by catching the reinforcements from Bunny. It's going to be so hard for Bunny to actually win a fight here. I think that may be why he actually wanted to go for some sort of base trade and was eager to embrace it. Zest didn't waste any time. There was no hesitation. He evacuated the base that he had as soon as he could. It's 17 walkers to 19. And I guess they're going to play musical main bases here for a little bit, where Bunny's trying to fly away with one of his command centers. He's got SCVs across the map. Did they kill the Nexus?
Maybe they
They
forced
finished
the
it
cancel
off.
killed, yeah. But you know, both players here just are going to have to finish the game with what they have here on the ground. As neither player has the ability to make another command structure, although Zest does have a Nexus on the way here.
Yeah, what's the building tabs here? Can we see the buildings? Okay, so there is still a decent amount of structures left for both, but Bunny's gonna lose almost everything except his 2 command centers. One of those is here.
Yeah, there it is.
Corner,
So
and one at the top.
the cool thing with Terran is that your stuff can float. You can go to the corner where Zest will
But
have...
it's very slow, and Zest
It
might
is
go
slow.
there.
Yeah. But there is an option for Zest to be able to pick them up before they get there, but there are some safe places on the map where the CCs can be floated to. But Zest cannot float anything. However, this Nexus can be recalled if Bunny finds an opening. He has mobility, Bunny does. He has the ability to drop and move his units around the map very, very quickly. Zest has a bit of a slow-moving ball. The only mobility he has is the recall spell, which should be off. You know, he has the ability to do that.
That one orbital falls here.
Yeah, but there's another one left. Top left.
If that would get caught. Oh, he's gonna mine as well.
Wow.
Knowing that Zest is nearby, but he's like...
If he makes 400 minerals, he can get another CC. So that's probably worth it.
Usually here, if you think there is no observer, you will go for a Cloak Banshee, you know, to really try and kill, you know, your opponent's economy or even his army. But in this case, I believe there are a couple observers, and Bunny's so far away from reaching that as well.
Cleanse this Terran filth from my new base. Gets rid of those refineries.
Get off my lawn.
Ooh, Zest finds the base up here. But I think that the job's been done.
Bad.
This is the job has been done for Bunny, though. He's got enough to make another command center, and if he keeps the SCVs
I think
alive...
he's making it on the top right. I see something on the minimap.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. So, again, Zest doesn't have mobility with his army. He can only recall. So it's a very slow-moving ball that he can't really separate too much, because Bunny does have staying power. If he dives in this Nexus when Zest's not there, maybe he can get a win here.
Oh, this is so sick. Zest even anticipates the drop there and he gets a bunch of pylons. This is so smart, because if Bunny had set up there with Liberators, or Liberator rather, and with the Vikings on the high ground,
I think these Colossi need to come back here, Todd. There goes some storms, though. I think the bio... Oh, never mind. These storms are pretty damn good. And the medevacs could even be fed back if he wants to get a couple of them. The Vikings will get rid of these Colossi. But there is still a pretty standing, scary army for Zest.
Yeah, and the problem is that, you know, they traded, but Bunny's army is beaten and bruised. And there is so many High Templars left over, which are going to recharge on energy and land some more storms. He has no ghosts. It's not like he's going to reach anytime soon. So those adepts that are on the map are still doing some hunting and trying to really spot where Bunny's trying to set up. It's so weird, by the way. I think he has no blink, right? He has this many Stalkers.
No blink. He only has charge.
He bluffed a couple times with it. He moved the Stalkers forward and Bunny was like, oh my god, what if he blinks? If he only knew.
Finally. And see, they lifts the CC here, and he's trying to go to safety, but the main safety CC here is in the top right. How does Zest get up here and deal with that?
I think he has to dispatch a couple of adepts, and it's very hard for Bunny to be able to tell himself that he's going to leave units on the other side of the map and have them protect his command center. Well, I guess those were expendable somehow.
So he sees the Nexus here of Zest, and Bunny's trying to chip away at this force, but every time Zest has these spellcaster units, and spellcaster units have the ability to trade energy for damage, and he's doing incredible damage here. I think that might be it for Bunny now. He doesn't have a whole lot left at all, and there's the feedbacks on the medevacs as well. Ugh.
Yeah, Bunny went for broke. He tried to go for the win here. He didn't try to, I guess, play slow and mine on his side of the map. Goes for broke, and now we've reached the point where Bunny has so little army. He's got 6 army supply. Look at it. 246. All Zest has to do is split his army half and half, and he can finish the game off. And Zest will take game number 1.
What a crazy slugfest game 1 was there on Blackpink, and let's see how we go for game number 2. I mean, I saw chances for Bunny to win that game, but Zest pretty solid in the end. Zest has kind of been going down the really aggressive path, and I'm sure he's played a few games like that. Like the decision to base trade was obviously the right one, but Yeah. Before we get into game 2, though, we're going to go to the analysis test to see what's happening with the other games. Take it away, guys.
That's right, thank you very much. Let's head straight over to Laptop 2 because right now, Pig, I think something's going on with Marine and Snoot.
Hero Marine actually looking to equalize this series here. Big 3-base mech push. He got some nice edges early on with some Hellbat drops picking off a lot of workers. And we can see here, he started off with just a 3 siege tank push. Of course, joined up with the regular Thor drop and the Hellbats. And now he's just been rallying across this map. These siege tanks doing massive damage. And that was Snoot's last chance to break through. There's still 4-5 siege tanks standing strong. And that's going to be Hero Marine tying up the series against Snoot. Of course, we can give a little recap. What happened in game number 1 was, you know, lots of Hellbat pressure coming in from multiple angles. Snoot was like, I'm going to build about 15 Roaches and Ravages and a ton of Zerglings. Did a great counterattack, busted through the wall, got a very clean and easy game 1 victory. But Hero Marine rallies there, so it's going to go through to game number 3.
Thank you very much, Pig. Let's head over to Artosis now, who's still in Special versus Lambo. I think the result at the moment is 1-0.
That's right. Special 1, game 1. Lambo is being a little bit greedy on Catalyst, getting into his Hydraling Bane, and Special killed some drones, kept the pressure on with bioplay. But here, map 2, Black-Pink, we see it's Ghost Mech from Special, something he's really well known for, and it's just starting to heat up. Lambo just finished up his Hive. He's getting out his Vipers right now, but you know, the Ghosts are already out, and Special is putting on that pressure. Just some really great multitasking so far from this guy, and I mean, this push might be able to decide the series.
It might indeed. Thank you very much, Artosis. I think that, you know, these games certainly not disappointing. We expected to come in and know that they were going to be good. We'll head over to Nick now as well, who does have Kelazur versus Namsha. I think you're just in the start, really, of game number 2, correct?
Yeah, I mean, if we want, we can throw this up on the big screen here, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about what happened in game number 1. It was a pretty old-school timing push here coming from Kelazur with some Hellbats early on. He did a lot of damage, and ultimately he just looked solid. He kind of overcame him in a longer game. And here we're in game 2. Obviously Kelazur up with a 1-0 lead. We have Namsha taking a 3rd base, and so far there's not really much I can tell you guys other than that it looks like Kelazur is looking pretty solid. We already saw him looking great in the first best of 3 that we casted here today, and I think he's primed to probably get out of this group.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen, as we are ready to head over to the commentary team once again for game number 2 here on the main stage, so take it away.
All right, welcome back to Bunny versus Zest. Currently Zest 1-0 up on Bunny. Not too many surprises. A lot of people would have favored Zest in the series, including myself. But there's a glimmer of hope for Bunny. It can be tied up.
I would say a little bit surprising that Bunny played it the way he did, though. I'm not sure what he was thinking here, taking the engagement against Zest's army with so many high Templars, just so high on energy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he was confident because he got rid of the Colossi, so he was like, I guess, like, just gonna deal with that ground and then win, but alas, it wasn't meant to be.
As a Terran, you're almost never confident against High Templar if you don't have Ghosts.
Maybe that's why he attacked.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's get into game 2 and see if we can tie it up at the top left here on Aviogenesis. This is Bunny.
His opponent in the red. Some might say his jacket makes him look good, but I think it's him who makes his jacket look good. It is Zest.
Definitely
Sure, look at it.
Yeah, that's right.
If I would wear the jacket, it wouldn't look that good.
I think if any of us wore that jacket, it wouldn't look good. I don't even think it's that special of a jacket. It's just that Zest makes every stitch of clothing look fantastic. He could look. He could wear a potato sack and make it look good. But there are no potatoes in this series. Very good pro gamers here, of course. So Bunny going for a pretty regular opening here.
That was such a weird game, game 1, in just the openers and the way like Zest was one step ahead of Bunny the whole time. And that one move that Bunny did, by the way, was so brilliant, where he moved towards the 3rd base with everything, but did a small, like, who does a Marine run by into the natural like this? Nobody. They would drop usually, maybe.
All right.
Again, we're seeing unconventional stuff here, potentially, with a pylon.
Yeah, I think he's trying to hide some tech up here. Second pylon going up to the north. We have to bring up for a fact, like, this is a pretty important thing to bring up, is that this map somehow snuck into this series. This doesn't seem like a map that a lot of players want to play. It's a little bit weird. There's lots of weird attack paths. It's very, very short rush distance, one of the shortest rush distances in the history of the ladder pool for StarCraft 2.
I think, yeah, we always mention that, but one thing to note is that if you don't veto this map, you're going to get a whole lot of practice on it, right? Because, like, you'll get it on ladder all the time. So if neither of these players usually vetoes it on ladder, they've played a bunch of games on it, and it might be like their trick card in a way, where they don't veto it in tournaments because they're comfortable in it. And there is always this game of, I think he will veto it or something, where if you're the one practicing on it, you'd be happy if that eventually happens and you end up playing on it.
Well, I'm seeing that more so for Zest here is, you know, Bunny is doing a pretty regular opening, a Reaper fast expand, but Zest is actually sending a Zealot across the map, which is not something you see every day in ZVT at the moment. With this pylon in a bit of a weird spot as he expands as well. So Zest just putting 100 minerals into this one Zealot, looking to just bully the SCV line, and then get the Stalker back at home to deal with the Reaper.
Oh, he almost went right around that Reaper. Zest is always one step ahead. It feels like one of those movies where, you know, there's somebody on the comms telling you, like, turn left here, like, at the end of the hole, turn right, like, and it makes you dodge everybody in a certain building. That's how smart Zest has been so far in the series, but Bunny finally, you know, gets something going his way a little bit here, catches that Zealot. He's going for 2 command centers though, so he's not going to have that many units here to deal with this one Stalker that's pressuring him. And I believe we have another one on the way here, so this could be dangerous. He needs to complete that bunker ASAP.
And Zest looking like he's going to go into quick blink as well, with the Twilight Council going back down home. And even without blink, the mobility of these Stalkers is quite high.
He could run past, right?
Yeah, I mean, he could. There's only a couple Marines in that bunker if he wants to go into that mineral line, and they have to unload from the bunker to deal with it. And Zest's going to do just that right now with the Stalkers getting into that mineral line.
Yeah, the Reaper needs to come back very quickly here, but Bunny wants to scout what's across the map, because right now he's being pressured. He's got 0 information. We actually have a Twilight Council starting behind this, so Zest maybe going for the old school route of Blink. Maybe he was playing for Dark Shrine, but then now that he's being scouted, it's a little bit harder to justify, because you really hope that you surprise the opponent with something like a Dark Shrine. So I feel like Blink will make a lot more sense, especially because he's already got 3 Stalkers.
Yeah, this Reaper's going to go down, but I actually like that Bunny sent this Reaper across the map and didn't leave it at home to defend. He needs to see what the follow-up is here for Zest. Like, is he going for a Dark Shrine? Is he going for a fast Robo? Like, what kind of tech is he going for? We see that Bunny's actually going 3 racks here with that fast expansion, and he already has a reactor on that barracks, so plenty of Marine production already. I don't know if he wants to get a second reactor this time. This might actually be double tech lab this time. Makes a bit more sense, considering the Stalkers that he's up against. Makes a bit more sense.
What a sick move by Bunny, by the way, to move out with Marines like this. He's hoping that Zest will be doing some sort of contain with Stalkers, and that he dodges the Stalkers, gets across the map, and kills probes. He knows that he's safe against Stalkers essentially for a very long time, unless he was to be a big gateway attack, which nobody does. In which case, he has the bunker ready to defend against Stalkers on his side of the map, and these Marines have so much probe killing potential on the other side.
Oh, they did it in game 1.
So many small moves like this that are just so brilliant, you know, and would work perfectly against a lesser player, but they're both so smart that he just kind of counteracts one another so far.
Definitely. We got the extra tech lab going down the barracks here as the factory tech starts to round out for Bunny back at home. Zest with a nice, healthy Stalker count, sort of just parked on that high ground. There's a lot of entrances to this high ground, but not a far walk for any of these Protoss units. And this time, Zest is gunning for the late game. He's got a fast 3rd Nexus, double Forge going down in the natural as well.
He's going to try to make up for last game, go for fast 3-3 maybe. Has Bunny... He hasn't sent anything. Okay, he's gonna send all of this. This is so good. He sends just one, so this looks like just any one Marine going for a scout across the map. But what he's really trying to see is where's the saturation, the timing on the 3rd base, and if there are units around.
Yeah, not committing to many bio units here. Zest's actually making a lot of gateways right now as that 3rd Nexus finishes up. Sees with his Observer, there's a bunker here still as well. So there's a turret, so the Observer has to be a little bit careful. These Stalkers could be very, very annoying here. There's a ledge to the south of the natural that the Stalkers can blink up onto and just blink back out again after they, you know, pick off an SCV or 2 here.
He pushed him straight towards that 3rd base, which Bunny immediately, upon realizing the threat of these Stalkers, which by the way are heading there right now, flies back that orbital commands. Actually, no, he's flying it right back to the expansion right now.
Oh, might get a sentry. It's a nice little pick up here. He's already got 1 probe. Force field to keep it alive. Nice little juke there from Zest. Oh, whoopsie daisies. Bit of a miss micro there. It's 100 gas. You don't really want to lose those.
Yeah, especially like if you can get some energy built up nicely. Usually it equals to good force fields and Guardian shields that are primordial to doing well in some of these fights. But yeah, now 1-1 is on the way for Zest. He's getting charged, so I'm guessing probably going to be a Templar Archives follow-up. But we've seen Zest do crazy stuff from there, like, you know, sometimes throwing down a Dark Shrine and going for DTs to send them across multiple bases.
Bunny's actually struggling to deal with this handful of Stalkers here. This double drop needs to do damage for him, or maybe force Zest home. because these Stalkers can actually be very, very dangerous to his third base.
recall?
No, he's actually just walking home. It's going to take a little while to get down here. He does have a bunch of Zealots. They don't have charge just yet, but it's about to kick in. There we go. Oh, that's a...
recalls, yeah. I was like, you don't have to save that
Oh,
one.
he recalled everything.
No.
So the third base is
Oh,
actually
because
still
he
under
wants
trouble.
to catch the Medivacs with the Stalkers on this side.
Yeah.
So he's going to surround this with Stalkers. Zest wants to make sure he doesn't let this escape. But he's going to lose his Nexus for it.
Yeah, either way, it looks like this is going to get cleaned up, but losing that third Nexus does suck as there is a third base back at home for Bunny, and that's going to put the pressure on Zest to put some counter-economic damage to the Terran, or one of the Medivacs even survived.
Yeah, somehow. I guess he's going to be taken out, but nice force field, actually. Ooh.
And nice pick up there from Bunny to save the units that were caught on the outside.
Oh, these guys
I
suck.
really love Bunny's play this game. He's been doing a really good job.
Yeah, now he's on 3 bases, knowing that he sniped that third Nexus of Zest. Zest actually, he's going to go for the attack.
I don't know
He
about
has 1-1 upgrades. He's got a Prism across the map. I mean, as much as he restarts the Nexus, he feels like he needs to be aggressive. I don't know if he has enough.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I just don't think he has the army supply to make this happen. There's Widow Mines as well in the army now for Bunny. 3 Medivacs healing up his forces, and Zest with his Warp Prism is just going for it. He's retaking his third Nexus back at home, though, so there's not any kind of all-in, but...
His Stalkers are so low, by the way.
Yeah.
They're generating their shields right now. Bunny's going to try to be patient. Maybe pulling a few SCVs here would be helpful. To tank a few shots at the front, force fields start landing, but those sentries are mostly out of energy here.
Yeah, and this is Stim Bio here with Medevac support, so Stalkers are not going to be super great against it. But nice Warp Prism Micro here from Zest, and he does reinforce. Bunny feels like he cannot hold on to this third. He's going to lift it up and get it out of there. Maybe they're starting to snowball here, but Zest, he's lost 9 SCVs. Bunny has.
And the force fields have been so good every single time, making sure that at least half the army is not attacking. Zest breaks through and strikes back on the other side of the map, preventing Bunny from mining from his third base while retaking his own.
Well, this is a nice move from Zest to get him back in the game for sure, but I wouldn't say that he's ahead just yet. There is a lot more army supply for the Terran than there is for the Protoss, and they can absolutely win this fight. Breaking off one of these Medevacs, though, that's a good number of army supply, heading across the map to try and do counterattack damage to the economy. Zest has 2-2 on the way, so this is kind of like the last game, but in this case, Zest is the guy with the upgrade advantage here over Bunny.
Yeah, and I mean, from there, like, if he can complete 2-2, this would be so good for Zest, because he keeps on warping in units so fast, and he can be very mobile and fighting all the time, getting immortals now, trying to catch that one Medivac. This is the kind of drop where if you don't do damage, it's very bad for the Terran, but he got a couple probes there.
He
and
did,
really
but
brought the entire army back up. Zest.
Oh, that's a frustrating scan there. Just missed that observer, and Zest does see this army of Bunny with Liberator in tow, and he sees that it's not at home, so in comes this Warp Prism. Bunny reacting, pulling some SCVs out of here, but not fast enough. He's going to lose a few more. There's a big warp bit of charge lots in the main, Todd, and this is never good for the Terran.
Yeah, Terran has no recall to really help with this, so he has to walk back maybe with some of his army, but Bunny's actually going on the counter-attack across the map. With this massive army that he's got, he's had enough of these attacks. He wants to try and put an end to this here. And Zest, he's standing in position at home. He should be ready. Does he have enough?
Well, the Widow Mines are going to, well, at least one of them and 2 of them is going to fire off here on the charge lot. There's not too many charge lots left. They're all here at the main base of Bunny, tearing it apart on top of the production of the Terran here. So everything he's producing is getting minced up by charge lots. Bunny is starting to deal with it, though. The Prism is starting to drop here on the main. His nice little moves here from Zest to dump these Zealots on top of the bio.
Yeah, Bunny was actually standing behind his depot here and behind this entire wall, but the dam has been breached.
Yeah.
And Zealots are going to keep on flooding in. Bunny needs to go for the kill right now, and that's exactly what he's going to try to do.
Big warp bit of defensive charge lots, though. I don't know if he can. He gets all the sentries, but charge lots are pretty damn good against Bio, especially the force fields helping out Zest a little bit. Big blinks forward. He gets one of the Medevacs. The Bio, of course, stutter stepping as well as it can, but the army supply is telling the tale here, Todd, and it's spiraling out of control for Bunny. He's producing back at home, but the charge lots in his main have just torn him apart from the inside, and Zest gets a 2-0 to start off his run for Intel Extreme Masters Katowice.
Another PVT victory for our previous champion, doing very well for himself. And that was quite impressive here, I have to say. Bunny did a lot of things very well, but Zest just countering properly every single time he needed to. He did lose that one Nexus, but I mean, he killed so many units right after that he knew the counter-attack was going to do a lot, and it did do a lot.
Well, Bunny is down, but not out. He has that losers bracket to fight back, and he's absolutely no slouch, so I wouldn't be super surprised to see him get further in this tournament, as Zest still remaining in that winner bracket. So nicely played there. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, interview with Zest, and then more StarCraft. Don't go away.
Hello and welcome back everybody to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2018. We just finished our second match of the day where Zest took down Bunny 2-0. So first of all, congratulations Zest. You last played Bunny a month ago in GSL and you beat him 2 times. So because of that, coming into this match, did that make you more comfortable? 일단 축하드리고요. 한 달 전에 이재성 선수를 GSL에서 2번이나 만나서 2번 다 이겼는데 그것 때문에 오늘 경기 전에 좀 마음이 더 편했나요?
그때와 지금 그 태프전의 경기 양상이 좀 많이 달라져서 걱정을 좀 하긴 했는데 생각한 대로 초중반에 좀 승부를 보려고 했던 대로 흘러가서 잘 풀렸던 것 같아요.
So he says that was a month ago, and I feel like the meta when it comes to PvT has actually changed quite a bit. So because of that, I actually was worried coming into this match, but I think that my game plan when it came to deciding to do a lot of damage early to mid game helped a lot, and that's why I was able to win. And the last time we saw you, Zest, was at IEM Pyeongchang, and it didn't go your way that time. So what were your thoughts after that tournament ended, and does that motivate you more coming into this event? 지난 이제 평창에서 좀 아쉬운 성적이 있었잖아요. 그래서 그때 끝나고 난 다음에 기분이 어땠는지, 그리고 그것 때문에 여기서 더 잘하고 싶은 마음이 있는지.
그때 솔직히 개인적으로 좀 더 높은 성적을 기대했었는데 좀 일찍 떨어져서 많이 아쉬웠고 그 이후로 좀 부족한 점을 많이 보완했기 때문에 이번 월챔에서는 좋은 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
So he says, when it came to this Pyeongchang, actually, I was really hoping to make it far at the event, but it didn't go my way. I actually dropped out really early, so I was quite disappointed in myself for that. And when it comes to this event at Katowice, I was really focusing on fixing the things that I lack, and because of that, I'm hoping to show a really good performance here. And last but not least, your next opponent is going to be Special. Special's been impressing a lot of people lately and practicing a lot in Korea as well. So what are your thoughts on facing him? 이제 다음 상대는 이제 스페셜 선수인데 스페셜 선수가 이제 최근에도 되게 잘하고 있어요. 그래서 스페셜 선수에 대해서는 어떻게 생각하세요?
경기를 봤을 때 항상 좀 스피드 있는 경기를 많이 하는 걸 봤고 그걸 보면서 경기 한번 해보고 싶다는 생각을 했었는데 이번에 만났기 때문에 재밌을 것 같아요.
So he says, I've watched Special play and I've been really impressed by what I saw, and I actually thought I want to face him, and so because of that I'm excited to face him, and I'm hoping to show a great result. So congratulations again, Zest. Best of luck in that next match. Kaelaris, back to you.
Thank you, Smix, and of course, we have Zest advancing on Zest versus Special. What a qualifying match we're going to have in a few moments. And we are back at the desk, but I do have an unfortunate announcement to give everybody out there. I bring it to you with a whole heart, and the Artosis and Ziggy Season 2 show is cancelled.
Unfortunately, Ziggy did fall to light. But we all know the current state of TVP, so this is not his fault. Hopefully next year we can resume that.
Yes.
But I'm a professional. I will get into the game that Light is going into next, which will be against Lambo, who lost, of course, a special.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Artosis. I'm glad that you can keep your composure in this hard time. Going over to the laptops, of course, though. Pig, you are still in Marine versus Snoot, correct?
Hero Marine versus Snoot, game 3. It's a long one. We are 18 minutes deep. We can actually hop in and take a look. Snoot has just, I don't know, I feel like he's been getting a lot of victories in quotation marks, and then I look at the units lost tab and it's been identical the entire game long. There's just been this epic Hydra, Lingbane, Queen, Viper up against Mech. Armies have been clashing, but the one thing going for Snoot is he's got about 80% of the map covered in creep, and he is pushing in towards Hero Marine's bases. So this game looks like it's going to go for a while. We've got Ghosts out for Hero Marine. He's adding more tanks and Hellions, and it's basically just more and more Hydras, Zerglings, and Banelings on the way for Snoot. So this one could easily go for another 10 or 15 minutes as the players start to mine out the last few bases in the middle areas of this map.
All right, well, thank you very much, Pig. Tasteless, you currently have Kaelaris going up against Namsha 1-1 at the moment.
Yes, that's right. If we can go into the game now, it's been a great series. It's 1-1 right now. We're in the early game. I do want to point a potential robbery here. These car doors are open, and it happened right by Rob's guns. And so I want to put that out there as a good citizen. But in this game, we don't have a ton going on here. We've got the 3 Banshees heading across the map, similar to our previous game. Oh, hold on, we have. Okay, nothing major here, just a small skirmish. Yeah, not a ton's really happened. We have Namshar on 3 bases, Kelliger turtling up, and I think it's going to be a little before I can deliver more to you guys.
Okay.
But the second game was absolutely awesome from Namshar. He really brought it. He killed it.
Right, well, you know not much is going on when Tasteless is on neighborhood watch, I think, going into a video game. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's check in with the bracket to get you up to date with what's going on so far. Zest versus Special is going to be our first qualifying match. What a blinder of a match that's going to be. And then you can see down to the bottom, Hiramreen and Snoot 1-1, Kelliger and, of course, Namshar 1-1 at the moment as well. Down towards the bottom, the morning of the passing of Ziggy here for day number 2. It's a sad moment, but I'm sure we'll be able to get over it eventually, Artosis.
One day.
One day. And that's going to be Lambo versus Light, which I think you'll be jumping into later on anyway. And that's going to do it for us here. So we are going to go to a short break. When we return, more action from the Intel Extreme Masters.